What is up, my dudes? It's Pac-Man here. Today I wanted to bring you guys another brand new episode of Or6 Analysis, show where I take your footage and show you where to best improve. So today we're checking out my man Gona, currently playing around Gold 3, and wants to start making content. Wants to come, and try and get into content creation, streaming and whatnot, and feels like he needs to, lift his game a little bit before he does so. So it's a very noteworthy cause. I respect it. I can relate to it. So yeah, by all means, man, hopefully we can point out a few things in your game and get you on the right track. Without wasting too much time, boys, let's get straight into it. Boom.
Down to 5 seconds.
You don't have to be, I suppose it's a weird one, because, it depends on what sort of content you want to make. Because you can definitely make content if it's, more comedic content, or more, more comedic content. You can definitely do that without being a solid player. If you wanted to do content that's more kind of get flanked based content or community based issues and talking content like that, you don't need to be a really strong player to do so. It's only if you want to make frag highlight movies or be one of them kind of champion channels or even tutorial based channels. You have to be a certain caliber or else people just won't really care. But you definitely don't have to be a good player to make content. So we're playing on Coastline. You're playing behind the bar. Yeah. Let's see how this one plays out. You got yourself an ADS. The reason that you put an ADS there as well, I'll show you once we go. So the reason, for most people will know this, but the reason that you put an ADS just by your feet, basically, when you play this position, is mainly because of the drone hole from above. So there's actually a drone hole sitting that if you drop a grenade down, it falls just behind this bar where the Jaeger's playing now. So obviously you want to protect yourself from that. And also just in general, so that, if someone does push Aquabalk, so they can't just nade you out or triple stun you or, double stun you or whatever. So it's always good to have an ADS protecting this position. You do need to be cautious of the angles you can get from an upside down rappel though. So if you find yourself going up against someone on an upside down rappel, be cautious of that. Pretty sure this whole table is actually wall bangable as well.
I hear Aquabalk.
And I've spoke about this in the past, but when you're playing a position like this, you want to be as close to that desk as possible. So straight away, it looks like the mechanical skill is relatively solid. You took out that drone quick snappy. Looked smooth. Looks like you're from North America. This position isn't bad. It's not overly solid. Yeah, I wouldn't really be worrying too much. The main reason that you don't need to kind of just stare at this point is because obviously you have the Valkyrie there, and I know you'll know that. That's why you moved across. But just for most people, just be cautious that you're not double watching something. Whereas there's every chance that someone can drop onto this balcony. I don't think there's anyone on that balcony right now, so you probably don't need to be staring at it. But in general, just make sure you're not kind of mindlessly using your crosshair, if that makes sense.
Okay,
Ash pushed out a sunrise, so it's likely that they're going to be going for a cool vibe and probably eventually a hook balcony take. Looks like you've messed up the Rios there as well. That's unfortunate. Nice. There's no default Rio in this center here. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see that, but this center wall should always be reinforced because it just allows the players to actually play within hooker if they're pushing, especially if they're pushing Aqua or if someone gets on the the big window rappel. Okay, someone's playing the DJ booth. Okay, make the calls. Sounds like there is one on 90.
Friendly, last operator standing.
That's super unfortunate. Look, this is something that kind of occurs a lot, and until you can get this out of your game, it's just going to consistently get you killed. Right now, this goes for kind of all ranks, but it's not so. You won't see it happen as much in higher ranks. Realistically, I'm not sure why you decided to turn away. So we knew there was someone 90. We had that first of all that actual call, and then you've also got the sound call for the 90 player, right? And then the sledge takes out the Ella. So the sledge takes out the Ella. When the Ella dies there in a position like that, that means that the sledge has to be close. He's got to be all the way pushed up against this wall And he's got to be close to get an angle like that into hooker. So he's got to be close. You can even tell by the way that sound is. That like how close that gunshot is. He's right there. He's right outside the door. So I'm not sure, but for whatever reason you decide to start sprinting. Now, when you sprint and you're about to engage in a gunfight, 9 times out of 10 you've lost. Realistically, just because of how slow it is to actually go to an ADS from a sprint. When you're in full sprint and then you go to aim down sights, it's a much slower speed, especially compared to this sledge who's strafing around the corner while ADS'd. You're just dead instantly. You never stand a chance. See how fast you just died there? You may have still lost that gunfight due to Pika's advantage, but he would have been in a much better position to actually win that gunfight if you had just stayed ADS'd or potentially swung the corner. I probably something along those lines, maybe strafe wider so that it's a little bit more less expected, but strafe wider while ADS'd. Never sprint when you know you're getting into a gunfight. It's a guaranteed way to die. Okay, round 2, running it back. Playing hookabout again, a hookabout. Your teammates don't love doing the Rios. You've already done like 4, and there's still at least 2 to go. See, that default Rio is not being done again. It's really weird. It's really weird. And just be cautious with that ADS. It may seem like a pretty standard ADS. Yeah, just put it on the doors just so that if they try and nade through, but they can actually be shot from the window. And that's a pretty common place for people to go get on hook or rappel, basically, get on the window. So just be cautious with that ADS. A better placement might be behind the bomb, like behind the bomb chassis on the side of like kind of billiard side, because as it gets thrown through, it should still catch most of the nades and whatnot. No rotation. You've got the default Rio I was talking about done now, but yeah, no rotation. That's going to cause issues. You don't have these walls done, and that's kind of it's another problem, isn't it? Like, it's not necessarily your fault, but the inconsistency in the actual reinforcements and positions being played. Obviously, if something doesn't work, you can change it up, but I feel like you guys kind of threw that round more so than something not working. So like those walls do need to be reinforced, or else you're gonna get really long angles from VIP, just completely cutting off rotation. So be cautious of that. Okay.
Where?
They push so hard from that area every time, guys.
So they're pushing from penthouse.
There's 2 of them. One off the hatch.
And there's kind of like two areas of thought. Like, if I know that they're pushing penthouse theater every time, like, I probably will go play over there. Like, maybe if they did it the first round, we knew they were going to be pushing from that side, I'd go put mute jammers down or Mozzie or something like that, and really try and slow down their initial push and just waste some time. Otherwise, they kind of just have free roam. You're going for it now. Surely there'll be a flank drone. Okay, you get the first frag, but there's another one in showers. That's unfortunate. And you know what's actually funny? You know what actually got you killed here again? For the second time. I'm surprised you didn't actually die there. Usually what you'll find, I'll show you 2 quick things. Usually what you'll find is when you come into this hallway,
One more Valkyrie.
usually what there will be a drone here. Just a 90 drone, because that 90 drone, especially if someone's dead, even though they just died there, I think, but that 90 drone is basically used to ensure that the players playing from VIP don't get flanked, because it can see anyone pushing from hooker down the hallway there, this side, and then it can also see the players that are doing what you're doing here, which is flanking from luggage or from main stairs, right? So it kind of covers off all rotations from that one little corner. So it's a really powerful drone spot, just FYI, if you guys aren't already using that. But it is quite common in the same respect. Usually people will shoot it. So I'm surprised that you didn't get called out on a drone here, because even if there's not one specifically there, usually one top main stairs, but they don't seem to have that sort of set up. So you're pushing up, land a nice shot on the sledge, good consistent aiming. I don't know if you just, for whatever reason, you just didn't see this buck here. So instead of like just kind of like shifting your aim and trying to at least put some damage on him, or hopefully, you know, best case scenario, actually getting the kill and getting the double. But rather than do that, once more, the unfortunate part is exactly what I said in the first round. It's a sprint. So you go into the sprint motion. You know, and that buck actually whiffed some shots. So it's just that whole thing of, you know, always kind of being alert for a second frag, right? So once you have one gunfight, be expecting someone to try and trade you. And so that might be just quickly flicking over there or just staying ADS on this corner, thinking that there might be, you know, potentially another person to come around this corner and swing. And if you were doing that, if you did just kill the buck and then continue, the sledge and then continue to aim down sights here, it's a much easier process to just flick your aim over here and try and land something on the buck. Even if it's just damage or a lucky headshot at the end of the day, because that's not uncommon. But what you did there is just the same kind of thing that happened in that first round. You just instinctively kind of press that shift button, and that basically is an immediate death if someone is coming to trade. So just be very, very careful with sprinting. It's the hardest thing. It's the easiest thing to fix, but it will get you killed the most. It's just something you have to get rid of from your game, okay? It's going to help you out no end. Okay, round 3. Playing the Legion this time. Someone's taken over the Jaeger. You've moved to kitchen. Nothing wrong with that. You know, hookers doesn't seem to be working out for you boys, so just move on, is what it is. I'm sure there's going to be... I don't want to spend the whole time talking about Rios. You don't want to do that Rio there that you're doing, because it means that if they are going for a kitchen door plant, you can't really... You're a kitchen sunrise take. You can't really support from main lobby. That Rio is actually even more less advised, because now they can jump in and plant in kitchen window. Yeah, so maybe just be cautious there of impacting prior to the Jaeger being finished reinforcing. Those last 2 reinforcements on kitchen wall you don't want to do. But again, I don't want to just make these videos all about reinforcements. And I do have plans to actually make a video that's going to talk about default reinforcements and kind of like the theory behind it all. I just haven't got around to actually creating it yet, but that is something that's on the agenda. Okay, so you're playing the Legion. This spot here isn't great. Yeah, I'd be more inclined to potentially try and hold Cool Vibes or hold Sunrise a little bit longer. Hard to do so without an ADS though. You do need to be cautious of that. Just in this, literally just stuns like this. And Sophia looks like she's missed it a bit, but yeah, that's unfortunate. Like with that, you really want to be like Sunrise is kind of a weird position, especially when you're playing behind the bar. So when you're solo holding Sunrise behind the bar, right? Legion's a good operator to do it with. Don't get me wrong. Maybe the 1.5, but that's just preference, right? But the Legion is a good operator to do it with because you can kind of watch your own back. You can put a Legion on Cool Vibe stairs. You can put it on the top part of it and the bottom part of it. You can put it on blue bar door so you don't get flanked too easy. You can put it in the court. You can kind of just watch your back with your Legion mines, which is really, really handy. And especially if you're solo queuing, it's a really good tip. Legion's a great solo queue operator for that reason. But it does help to have an ADS present. So maybe just shout out and ask the homie, the Jaeger, if he's got one for you. I think where it went wrong is you kind of lost your footing when you went over to this position. Ooh, so you kind of left, and for no real reason, it's like that kind of thing where people kind of get antsy and they just want to move around a little bit when you have a job to do, right? So basically, this is kind of where I think it started to go downhill. You rotated in here. When you're playing behind the bar as well, this is kind of what I was wanting to finish on, a touch on. When you're playing this position behind the bar, you want to actually play this position a little bit more aggressively. It's not a really passive position. For the most part, you want to be kind of like doing what you're doing there, like just peeking out, taking shots at the person that's playing on sauna door and making it really uncomfortable. Because if you're shooting enough and like making it uncomfortable enough, they just won't push you through that door. They'll need some coordination. They'll need someone to rotate to the window maybe, and then they'll probably need someone to go through office to take blue bar and try and pinch you. Like it takes a lot of coordination if you're playing it aggressively. If you're not, if you're kind of playing it a little bit more passively, they will be inclined to just go, okay, whatever, I'm sending it. Like, because if this pays off, the risk reward is so high. They clear out Sunrise, then boom, they don't have to waste a minute and a half of the round trying to take office and whatnot. So this is a position that you want to play a little bit more aggressively. So you can hear the Sophia stunning. They hit the Legion mine, and it's unfortunate that she just literally hit it and kept swinging across, and she landed a pretty nice shot on you. So yeah, maybe a slightly better place to play from, where I usually play from, is sort of here. So I sort of rotate along this axis. So I'll rotate through this line and on this, because I'll peek around this pillar here and take shots at sauna door, and then I'll also pre-fire through the soft wall here. Kind of what you're doing, but that's the sort of rotation that I make. That's unfortunate the way that played out in the end, but that's kind of why it pays dividends to actually play that position a little bit more aggressively and not as passively. Okay, round 4, match point. You're playing the ace now. Looks like your mechanics aren't too bad. It's more so just like decision making. Like your actual aim mechanics aren't too shabby. Like your crosshair placement and aiming isn't too bad. It's more so yeah, decision making and positioning. Which is it's kind of a good thing, if I'm honest with you, man, because a lot of people will always struggle to get the mechanical side of things down. Whereas you kind of seem like you're at least in the right steps, doing the right things. You just need to get that a little bit more experience, a little bit more game time. But hopefully we can speed you up a little bit here. So you got one playing in security. It's yeah. So you're calling that out now. It's the Valkyrie. Okay, so it looks like you're just gonna push. Be very cautious with that hatch. So as much as it might just be enticing, and to be honest, sometimes I would just do that. I would just go boo, I'd spray down, use 15 bullets, and then just run right around here and try and take the fight in Sunrise. Depends how frisky I'm feeling. Sorry, in security. Depends how frisky I'm feeling. That's quite enticing, but you do need to be really cautious of the guy that's playing the hatch. It's a little bit more off to the side, but there's someone playing above, right, in Aqua. Holding this hatch, very likely just holding this door from above, because we've seen that open, right? We've seen that hatch open. So I want to see how this one plays out. Maybe use your drone to just double check and see. That's what you're doing. So you've still got a Sunrise player. It looks like you've noticed that as well. Doesn't look like anyone's playing the hatch. So maybe I would do that then, and just be cautious of the. Oh, there is someone playing it. Ooh. Yeah, be cautious of it. So just listen out for your the drop. Again, that's unfortunate. It's hard because, like, you know, I could easily enough look at that and go, look, man, you need to be droning, you know, more droning. And to an extent, like, yeah, I'd probably be right. Maybe instead of you trying to go out there and actually take that gunfight, let your team know and say, hey, we need to take out this Valk. I got a live drone. I'm ready to drone now, right? And I can't pinch someone playing hatch or whatever it is, right? So you be the actual one that's giving the information and allowing someone else to come in and actually get that kill. But in terms of, like, you know, should you have re-drone security? You probably didn't have time because you had to make a fast play because of the player playing the hatch, and then you had to just basically, you kind of did what I was saying that I would probably do in that sense of just actually pushing in on that Valk. It's just unfortunate that you didn't fully check this corner as you go through, because she's just playing it tight, right? Isn't she? So you just didn't check the corner deep enough, and that's unfortunate. Like, it is what it is. But I would be, I'd be more inclined to actually give that information to your team and make sure you're at least being traded when you do that. Okay, round 5, playing the ace again. Man, I'm sorry if I've come across like I'm in a bad mood today. I'm not. I'm just, I'm tired. I won't lie to you. I've been having a really good time. My parents just came back from America. They moved back home. Because obviously with, you know, COVID and whatnot, it's probably just makes sense to be here in Western Australia. We're COVID free, so they've moved back anyway, and it's been a lot of fun, but a lot of long conversations at night over a few beers. So I'm tired, but I'm enjoying it, and I was also playing the new COD. But again, enough about me. Moving on. So you go onto the roof now. They're playing from kitchen. The one thing that I would say is there's not a lot of conviction in this push. It's now 2 minutes into the round, so we're 1 minute into the round with 2 minutes remaining, and it doesn't look like you know what you want to do yet. You're kind of like, you're not really looking at anything. Maybe you're like trying to find out what your teammates are doing. You know, yeah, maybe just use an ace charge. Believe it or not, Coastline's really one of them sites that you don't actually need any hard breach, so it's kind of preference.
Why would you drop the bomb right there, bro?
Okay, it looks like this Jackal wants to make a play and just go straight through the window. You guys want to take Vert, which is my preferred way of taking kitchen. The other way being through Sunrise and Office and whatnot. This is probably the way that I like to personally take it. Okay, so you guys go down to a quick 3v4. The only thing is you don't really have the ability to do Vert unless that Habana's brought breach charges. You might be in a little bit of trouble here. Nice kill though. So again, this might be a good time to make sure that you've got that 90 drone, right? So that's what you would do on this side as well. That first drone, I don't know where it went or where you left it, but that first drone that you droned through, once you knew that it was clear, I would pop it on 90 and just shout out to one of your teammates, say, yo, can someone watch this drone, this 90 drone? And then you just don't need to worry about your flanks at all, completely covered. You know, so you can double focus on verticality. And that Habana did bring breach charges. Weird flex, but okay. Okay. So one mistake as well, that not mistake, but one kind of common occurrence. Well played, nice patience and nice awareness. Well done. One kind of like little thing that I do notice a decent amount is, and I just want to touch on it really quickly, is verticality, right? So when people are taking vertical control, so when people go for vertical control, a lot of the time you guys don't, or, you know, a common occurrence is people don't have a plan of what they want to do with that verticality, right? So verticality, it's not always just about getting frags. Most of the time you will get a few kills from it. But what's more important is about actually flushing the enemy out from the positions that they had, the tough positions to get them out otherwise, right? So pushing them out of service and out of kitchen completely, so that you can, you know, more efficiently go for a kitchen door plant, or maybe a service plant, getting them out of service altogether and getting them out of bathroom, making sure they're not playing in there, so that you can just hold the rotate from above, smoke plant or something like that, right? So with verticality, just make sure that you always kind of have an intention as to what you guys want to do with it, and you're gonna find that your consistency and your consistency in them rounds improves, because you're not just kind of gonna be a bit headless chicken, just opening holes and not sure what to do after that. So yeah, it's always good to have a plan. Okay, round 6. You're playing the ace again. Really cautious of spawn peak. It's good to be aware. You do have you've got a lot of potential, my friend, my good man. It just looks like you need to put a little bit more time in it. Maybe try and find yourself a squad to, practice and learn together. That's the one thing that I would always say to people, is to just squad up. It's the best way to improve, really. Find a consistent 5-stack and work on things as a unit. It's a bit unfortunate.
GG.
Don't worry about it. So in situations like that, move on. Life's it is what it is. Nothing you can do. You do need to be really careful though, right? When you're actually trying to, because if they're not bringing anything to deny that, that you guys opening up that drinks wall, you definitely should. It's just another angle that you can get on them, right? But what you do need to be cautious of is people swinging out from Aqua, and also people swinging out. I can't really show you as well, but swinging out from drinks itself, from that double door, and peeking skylight. So then when you're there trying to line up your Selma charge, you just get swung out and dropped headshot. Especially in the higher ranks, it's just something that you do need to be cautious of. It always pays dividend, and sometimes it can actually get you a free kill if you just have one person doing that. So maybe the ace yourself actually getting it lined up and throwing out the charge, and then having someone hard holding the angle for the peak.
Easy kitchen. So
it can definitely pay off. Get yourself an easy frag. As you think about it, when you got your Selma out, you're kind of just bait. You're an easy kill. Like, exactly like that. And that guy probably just wasn't quite sharp enough to land that shot, but it would have actually been really funny if he had landed that shot, as I spoke about it. Because it is a common occurrence. Again, one thing that I'm noticing, especially on this attack, like, this is pointless really. It's not doing anything, it's just, again, wasting time. A really common kind of problem in, especially in ranks like gold, is that people don't really have any intention. They do a lot of this where you're just kind of like holding random angles. You're not really doing anything in particular. You're not advancing in the round, and you're just burning down the clock. In ranks like this, it can still work sometimes. People will overpeak, but as you progress, and as I always say, you have to play above your rank in order to rank up. As you progress, it's going to become more and more important, and just more and more essential, really, to be aware of your time and to making sure that you're kind of always doing something, always progressing in the round and taking control. Okay, so you got one vibes, you got one hooker, and probably one drinks, is it? Or billiards? I'm not sure. The Habana's pushed through. She's on billiards. which is in Aqua. Yeah, you guys, so now you know that Capcan is on rotate and one's vase. That's unfortunate. So 20 seconds now. You're in trouble here. I wouldn't be smoking and going for a plant. It's just, realistically, it's, yeah. That's not your fault. Don't get it wrong. That's not your fault there. But in the same respect, I would be, you know, one thing that you need to be cautious of, or one little piece of advice there in that last moments, in the last few moments, is that when you do go down to a 1v2, there's no point actually trying to get this bomb down. They're just not going to let you take 7.5 seconds. There's plenty of time for them to rotate. So what you can do is, you know, something like what you did do there, just throw one smoke down around here, and kind of, you know, what that would do is it would basically cover off all of this area. And so, you know, you might make them think that you're actually you're trying to smoke it, and then you can then swing wider from billiards and then just focus on the rotate, and then the other one should be coming from the double door. So, you know, maybe try and find them 2 quick frags if they allow you. Now, again, you know, realistically, they shouldn't allow you to win a situation like this, but that's maybe a play that might have worked. Who knows? But, you know, going for a plant like this, unfortunately, the smoke doesn't cover you anyway. But going for a plant like that, it's never really going to work when you're in a 1v2 in that sort of a situation. That they've just got ample time and they won't let you get it down. So again, look, that the reinforcement. Hey, whoa, that is weird. That is really weird. Anyways, moving on. Like I said at the beginning of the round, I don't think it's your at the beginning of the video. I don't think it's your mechanics that are holding you back, my friend. I think it's definitely more so the game sense and just the experience level, right? So you know, I would probably recommend, you know, watching things like, you know, if you want to play competitively, play a bit of competitive. You know, try a bit of competitive play. More so, just find yourself a little 5-stack of people and play amongst yourself so that you can all learn pushes together and you can kind of grow as a team and as a unit. Watching pro play and looking at the way that they're executing or what different ways they're approaching each site is a really good way to kind of expand your knowledge so that you're not, especially on offense, that you're not just holding random angles and, you know, wasting time. And, you know, you've seen there's 20 seconds left. The clock was against you in the end of the day. So by, you know, becoming a little bit more aware of what you should be doing at every given moment, it'll just speed up your game and you won't get stuck by the clock, and it's going to become more important as well as you do begin to rank up further. So most of the things I could see here is just game sense and experience, right? So just by playing more and, you know, trying to play at a higher level, and the best way to play at a higher level is to find yourself a stack. It's the easiest way to rank up. If you really want to take it to the next level, you can look at joining into some open leagues or open ladders. Find a team that's looking for a player and hop in there, and, you know, all of you guys can get your experience up that way. But yeah, it's not so much your mechanics, it's more so just the decision making and small things. But you're on the right track, my friend, and I do wish you all the best in terms of the content creation and the streaming life, if that's what you do choose to do in the end. And yeah, hopefully you can take a few tips from this video and go out there and, you know, implement some of the stuff I spoke about into your own game, okay? And for everyone else, as always, if you're enjoying the content, please be sure to like and subscribe. The channel's been kind of, you know, doing well again recently, which is really good to see. The subscriber count is growing up, and yeah, I'm eternally grateful and thankful that, you know, you guys allow me to do this for my for a living. All right, so I really do appreciate it, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. But without wasting too much time, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.